PM getting invite for G7.
Which is fabulous. Bygones should be bygones. I'm so happy that the new Canadian Prime Minister Mark
Carney
has reached out, and I think that's great because
So
controversy शुरू क्यों हुई थी यार?
क्योंकि अभी तक आया नहीं था, which is true that it was an afterthought because the accreditation shut on June 1st. So it's quite natural that journalists like us said that India is not getting the invite because that is the first signal. Because once accreditation stops, that means whoever has applied internationally as journalists to cover the event, this could be ASEAN Summit, this could be BRICS, all these summits, we all apply for accreditation to cover the event. Otherwise, we cannot enter the campus.
That's true.
So when we enter the campus, we have to have UN ka bhi hota hai, accreditation hota hai, we have our cards and only we are allowed to enter the press area.
Right.
Now when by 1st of June, India doesn't have accreditation, that means that India is not getting the invite. So we all filed those stories.
I would imagine that there was a certain amount of, must have been discussion inside the Canadian system. And they would have come to the conclusion that...
Or the other six.
Or they were pressured by the others.
Or they wanted to show that there was some kind of deliberation and thought was given. And I'll tell you why. I never doubted for a minute the invitation was coming for a whole bunch of reasons.
Yeah, he didn't.
Trudeau was, he could literally become Junior Bhindranwale in terms of his Khalistan advocacy.
Who? The Prime Minister?
Ex-Prime Minister.
Acha.
The second person, the opposition guy, Pierre Poilievre, was basically senior Hardeep Singh Nijjar. He had he was surrounded by 5 outright Khalistanis.
Yeah.
Tim Uppal was the stupidest of the lot, but that Param Gill, Sajjan or what's his name?
We are going to, now the Khalistanis will get after the caucus.
That's fine, let them.
These shameless Khalistanis didn't even...
One second.
We'll come to that.
Now, Carney, the first thing he does after winning re-election, gets rid of all the Khalistanis in his cabinet. It is a complete evisceration. It's a decapitation of any kind of thing that... And
as did the Canadians. NDP was out.
NDP was out. Now, Khalistanis, remember...
Amazing samosas.
Very good.
Sorry, 1 second.
एक और हो जाए.
मैं तो कभी refuse ही नहीं करता. I never stop at one drink and one samosa. Anyway, sorry.
So what ends up happening is Khalistanis are a very unique bunch out there. Yeah. There are few people who are high income, but their overall income is quite low out there. They have no option but labor. Other than NDP, essentially.
Porsche poverty.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Porsche, Maserati poverty. Now, what happens out there is he's basically challenged them. He said, you are no longer going to hijack national foreign policy. I'm going to cut you out of cabinet.
Yeah.
You will have no representation in cabinet except a junior minister, as opposed to Anita Anand, who's a full cabinet minister. And what ends up happening out there? You've shown to Pierre Poilievre that you can't make him win an election. In fact, going your side makes him lose an election. Of course, he's not going to, unlike, say, Andrew Scheer, who had the decency and dignity of resigning when he lost the last election. Pierre Poilievre is shameless because his ex-girlfriend, Jenny Byrne, runs the... she controls the party, the Conservative Party, with an iron fist, right? So she'll get him back.
Ex-girlfriend?
Ex-girlfriend.
He's not married to somebody.
बड़ी अच्छी relationship है. Ex-girlfriend इतनी अच्छी है उसके
As
लिए.
in, known ex-girlfriend. They were de factos.
No.
No, what he's trying to say is that an ex-girlfriend is...
हमारे case में तो ex-girlfriend is very vicious. यहाँ तो बड़ी अच्छी है यार.
So, good. I wish he could maintain that relationship with voters. I wish he could maintain the relationship with voters that he has with his ex. But anyway. So, this is what has happened out there. Carney is absolutely in charge. There's been a significant shift of NDP votes to Carney.
Correct.
Where are the Khalistanis now going to go?
They're making a lot of noise, saying that, Canada should rescind the invite and things like that.
But Abhijit said something very important a couple of days back. Carney showing Trudeau his place and putting Trudeau back. Because there must have been some internal attempt by Trudeau and his minions not to have Prime Minister
But can I say
Modi.
something? Obviously, it was deliberate, the delay, right? We shouldn't have accepted it yet.
So that's another point.
Why?
No.
Why?
वो बदतमीजी कर रहे हैं ना?
foreign
Yeah, but
policy-
yeah,
But
I think
listen, a delay is not badtamizi.
No, one second.
Okay,
But
wait.
no, on a
Let
more
him- let
substantive,
him explain.
on a more
One by
substantive,
one, explain
on a more
karo.
substantive note, I felt the same way at one point of time, and I would have said that if the invitation had not come, I said, "अगर आएगा भी तो नहीं जाना चाहिए." But look, I think Modi deals with these things in a completely he deals with it in a much more statesmanship
Exactly.
manner. Look, the West treated him very shabbily as long as he was not Prime Minister. Did he ever let that come in the
Never.
way of India's interests in developing closer relationship with the West? He never let that come in the way. Whatever personal slights anybody had made to him, he never let that interfere in whatever national policy or a policy which he thought is in national interest.
This is
he
why.
did
This
not
is
let it
why.
interrupt.
This is why Modi.
Which is why he accepted.
This is why Modi is a statesman and Trudeau is a. Trudeau personalized.
Let me give you an
his so-called-
example.
one second.
Yeah, he personalized foreign
the
policy.
so-called insults he suffered in Delhi during his Bhangra visit. Modi never personalized anything. Neither the American visa denial nor the French and German ambassadors calling him what they did or the French and German ministers calling him what they did. He
Can I-
never
can I
ever.
just-
In this particular incident, and I respect that you disagree with that or whatever, look, is the nation's interest that comes first. I would rather say that not just as Modi being a statesman out here, he's actually putting the country first.
Yeah.
If there is somebody, and I think you made this point very well, because okay, whatever their internal politics would be, Canada also has internal politics in their party. If the prime ministers prevail and he reaches out and he says, "Yeah, please come," he makes a call. There's today been a statement, actually last night, which is today morning India time, where they've said, look, we cannot ignore India. Then I think it is in our interest to talk to them. Yeah. And if that is how it is. You go there. Sometimes I think you put ego aside. So what if the invitation?
No, but okay, so can I just...
Who ate, sorry, one last thing. Who ate humble pie? They ate humble pie.
No,
I don't even think humble pie, but in that sense.
See, foreign policy
Basically,
also
it's not
is
about-
dynamic.
Exactly.
You can't just, the ego matters shouldn't come in between is what I have to say.
See,
Go ahead.
I don't think it's a question of ego. I think inviting the Prime Minister is an embodiment of the country, India. So I differ in that sense that Modi को invite नहीं किया लेकिन India के लिए आपकी policies अलग है, ऐसा नहीं होता. For me, they are one and the same.
True.
If you deliberately did not extend an invitation to Modi, that means you're trying to slight India. And
True.
That's why I said it's my
So
personal
who
decision.
had to eat the humble
no,
pie
no,
then?
yeah, no, one second,
It's not a
no,
humble pie,
I need to
actually.
challenge this.
Haan.
Where was India slighted? A delay is not a slight, Anand.
A deliberate delay.
Yeah.
They might have done it for domestic reasons.
Yeah, it's domestic.
But
To
whatever,
show
whatever
Whatever
it
it's
is.
done,
To
yeah,
show
it's
that
done.
it was no, it is not. I'm
Wait,
sorry, I
see,
will never
India
accept.
India did not do it. G20, we
Yeah.
invited Trudeau.
We invited, but no, G20
We could have
invited
also done
Trudeau.
that.
Yeah.
India could have also done that.
No, but in this particular case, India is not a member of
Not
the
a member,
G7.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we are a special invite.
It's a courtesy.
Yeah.
Right?
Courtesy.
It's a
But this
courtesy.
is the
In
G20.
G20, you had to invite
What is the
Trudeau.
prior precedence? Has it ever happened that a G7 has been convened and a delay has been done for extended India's
Yeah,
invitation?
ऐसे
Never
है, there are
happened.
many
This is not-
unprecedented
yeah.
things which are happening.
मैं
so
कह रहा हूँ
maybe-
अगर ये deliberate था अगर
अच्छा,
नहीं था तो
नहीं,
चलो
ये
In a
यार
world
होता
where
है
Trump is
that-
running foreign policy, many things change and are dynamic. I agree.
In NAM also,
Yeah,
there have
होता
been
है,
cases, should we have invited Fidel Castro or not? We know that
मैं
everybody
कह
get
रहा
up
हूँ, if
Fidel
you
Castro को
extend
बोला.
it always ना स्मिता
Gaddafi आता है.
then the vibe goes that आप फिर हर चीज को आप तोल रहे हो उस जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कतार से अपॉलॉजी नुपुर के चक्कर में कोई भी आके आपको कुछ भी कह देगा और आप कहोगे नहीं यार देश सर्वोपरि है नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता यार आप भी देश हैं So,
Yeah,
ऐसा नहीं है कि आप
नहीं,
हर
see-
चीज में कह दो कि यार मैं कुछ और सोच रहा हूँ
No. Anand,
Each
Anand,
case is
each
different.
one is different.
Each
You have
case
to-
is
you can't-
different and see the problem which you वो अभी जो इलॉन मस्क और ट्रम्प की बात कर रहे थे ना जो मैं तुम्हारे को बोल रहा था कि यू आर इलॉन मस्क यू आर वेरी ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट ये होना चाहिए आई वांट डेफिसिट टू बी रिड्यूस्ड नो मैटर व्हाट एवर एल्स हैपेंस
Yes.
a politician cannot do that and this is something we have discussed in these एक minute रुक
You are absolutely
these are
right.
something we have discussed on
I
these
confess
programs
that.
in the past that certain decisions which person sitting in government in Delhi is taking, we may not necessarily agree with it, but that guy has a responsibility far beyond just appealing to a constituency, right? He has to run a damn country, okay?
बाकी
So the
खुद भी-
point is that what happens very often is that in this particular case, you know, a decision has been taken and you say, okay, yaar, Qatar, I have these thing. If we tell something has happened, it has hurt a certain sentiment out there, And if we reach out to them, because we have 500 other interests, I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with how we handled the Nupur case domestically.
I agree with you.
I can have a problem with that. But how we handled it internationally was not necessarily not the way to do.
Exactly.
Was there anything wrong in it?
See,
You
Anand,
agree how Nupur was handled?
Acha, एक minute. One by one, Tehseen and then Anand on this issue. Go ahead. There's more food coming.
You know.
No, the only thing is, I tend to agree with what Sushant is saying here. I think a foreign policy has to be
आज तो
absolute.
जल्दी भी आया and you are agreeing with me
हाँ,
on everything.
हाँ,
I am like,
For the Samosa caucus people, I came first.
yeah.
Yes. He
मतलब
was
For
here
the first
before-
time.
For the
Pehla-
first time, I came
half
first.
an hour before Anand.
Yeah.
Just because Tharoor is joining BJP doesn't mean you also.
हाँ, the lame duck.
And I've been
एक म्यान में
supporting.
एक ही तलवार रह सकती है पूना वाला एक टाइम
3 समोसे खा रहा है.
काउंट कर रहे
I'm
हैं
so proud.
actually, he's joining
मैं नहीं खा
RJD.
रहा मैं नहीं खा रहा
अरे अरे
हाँ,
लूज
so,
गया.
ANI exclusive.
count कर रहे हैं.
ANI Samosa Caucus exclusive.
मतलब सवारे आ गया.
Tehseen is joining RJD.
In case of Tej Pratap Yadav. Yeah.
तेजू भैया
He is the new son of the house.
No, but he's like.
I hope you don't have any more
क्या बोल रहा
secrets
है?
like
I'm a
तेजू
one
भैया
woman.
has. ऐसे तुम्हारे secrets तो नहीं है
इसके
ना?
बहुत
I'm a
है
one-woman
बता
man.
नहीं रहा.
I'm a one-woman man. Unlike
Before
you.
the one woman.
That is to be discussed. That is the state secret.
Do subscribe to the ANI Clips channel to get shorter versions of this podcast. Click here to watch the full episode.